Hello everyone, and welcome back to another Hollywood Remembers video. Today, we're honoring the American stars we've recently lost, along with other beloved figures who have touched our lives around the world. Before we dive in, if this video resonates with you, we'd truly appreciate a like. It helps us continue sharing these heartfelt tributes with the respect and care they deserve. Thank you for your support. And now, let's begin.
Eric Dane was a commanding presence in American television, remembered most vividly for bringing depth and charm to Dr. Mark Sloan on Grey's Anatomy. With quiet confidence and undeniable charisma, he transformed what could have been a simple role into a character audiences embraced as family. His portrayal of Sloane's growth, vulnerability, and devotion touched millions and remains one of the series' most heartfelt journeys. Beyond Seattle Grace, Dane showed his range as Captain Tom Chandler in The Last Ship, embodying strength and resolve in times of crisis, and later as Cal Jacobs in Euphoria, where he revealed the complexities of flawed humanity. In each performance, he offered honesty, dignity, and emotional truth. Born on November 9, 1972 in San Francisco and passing on February 19, 2026 in Los Angeles, Eric Dane leaves behind a legacy woven into the golden age of modern television. His work continues to resonate with longtime viewers who found comfort, excitement, and reflection in his characters. For those who followed his career through the years, his performances were more than entertainment. They were shared moments of laughter, tears, and connection. His artistry reminds us of the power of storytelling to unite generations. As we honor Eric Dane's life and legacy, may we celebrate the joy he brought to our screens and to our hearts. If his work touched your life, take a moment to share your memories and reflections, keeping his spirit alive through gratitude and remembrance.
Douglas Edwin Moe was a vibrant figure in American basketball, remembered for his fierce competitiveness and lifelong devotion to the game. A standout forward for the North Carolina Tar Heels, he earned All-American honors twice, thrilling fans with his skill and determination during his collegiate years. Though his career faced adversity and controversy early on, Moe's enduring passion for basketball never faded. He later carved out a respected path as a professional player and coach, bringing energy, creativity, and an unmistakable love for the sport to every team he guided. From the sidelines, he became known for his fast-paced philosophy and his ability to inspire players to believe in themselves. Born on September 21, 1938 in Brooklyn, New York, and passing on February 17, 2026 in San Antonio, Texas, Moe's life reflected both the trials and triumphs that shape true character. For many longtime fans, he represents an era when basketball was evolving, and personalities like his helped define its spirit. His journey reminds us that resilience and dedication can leave a meaningful mark far beyond the scoreboard. As we honor Douglas Moe's memory, let us reflect on the excitement he brought to the court and the lessons his life imparted. If his career touched your heart or sparked a cherished memory, please share your reflections and celebrate the legacy he leaves behind with gratitude and respect. Peter Greene was a striking presence in American cinema, remembered for portraying unforgettable villains with intensity and depth. In The Mask, his role as the ruthless Dorian Tyrell revealed a magnetic screen command, while in Pulp Fiction, his chilling performance left audiences stunned and deeply moved. Born on May 10, 1965 in Montclair, New Jersey, and passing on December 12, 2025 in New York City, Greene built a career defined by bold choices and fearless artistry. Though often cast as antagonists, he brought nuance and humanity to even the darkest characters, reminding us that great acting lies in truth and conviction. For many who came of age in the 1990s, his performances were unforgettable moments in films that shaped a generation. He stood out in an era rich with cinematic innovation, contributing to stories that still resonate with longtime movie lovers today. Peter Greene's legacy endures in every scene that continues to captivate viewers. His work reminds us of the power of character actors to elevate a story and leave a lasting impression far beyond the screen. As we reflect on his life and career, let us celebrate the artistry he shared so generously. If his performances stirred your memories or left a lasting impression, please share your reflections and honor his legacy with gratitude and respect.
There is a particular kind of steadiness that does not demand attention, yet shapes a lifetime of it. In the world of country music, where fashion shifts and production trends often come and go, Alan Jackson has stood with a quiet assurance that feels almost architectural. Not loud, not theatrical, simply present. For decades, his voice has carried the plain-spoken poetry of small towns. Front porches, highways stretching under open skies, and kitchens filled with memory. For those who have lived long enough to see music change its clothing many times, his presence has offered something rare: continuity. While others experimented with gloss and spectacle, he kept returning to the bones of a song. Steel guitar, steady rhythm, words that meant what they said. There is comfort in that constancy. It mirrors the way many lives have been built, brick by brick, year by year, without fanfare, yet with enduring strength. He never seemed to chase the moment. Instead, the moment often seemed to circle back to him. When audiences heard "Remember When" or "Drive," they were not simply listening to radio hits. They were hearing chapters of their own lives reflected back with dignity. Weddings, graduations, long drives after difficult days. His music found its way into private spaces where it became part of family history. Songs turned into markers of time. What distinguishes him most, perhaps, is restraint. In an industry that often rewards volume and spectacle, he has trusted understatement. That choice requires confidence. It suggests a man who knows who he is and who understands that authenticity carries farther than noise. There is a humility in the way he stands on stage, guitar in hand, hat brim low, as if he is there to serve the song rather than to eclipse it. For many who have watched the decades unfold, his career has paralleled their own journey through adulthood into maturity. The early hits were energetic, bright with youth. Later recordings carried reflection, gratitude, and the gravity that only years can teach. Through it all, his voice remained recognizably his, warm, unforced, steady. In honoring him today, we are not looking backward with nostalgia alone. We are acknowledging a living artist whose work continues to breathe alongside us. His contribution is not confined to awards or charts. It resides in the quiet assurance that some things remain true. Long before arenas filled with applause, before awards lined shelves and headlines traced his ascent, there was a young man shaped by ordinary mornings and familiar roads in rural Georgia. Alan Jackson did not emerge from a spotlight. He emerged from community. The cadence of his early life was not hurried. It was measured by church bells, factory whistles, and the steady rhythm of family obligation. Those textures would later become the quiet architecture beneath his songs. There is something revealing about how an artist begins. In his case, ambition did not roar. It moved patiently. After high school, he worked alongside his father in a car dealership, absorbing lessons that had little to do with melody and everything to do with character, reliability, courtesy, persistence. These are not glamorous qualities, yet they endure longer than trend. When he eventually carried his guitar beyond hometown borders, he carried those lessons with him. His move to Nashville was not dramatic in the way popular myth sometimes demands. It was practical, even cautious. He wrote songs not to astonish an industry, but to tell stories that felt honest. The early recordings bore the imprint of traditional country, fiddle and steel guitar woven through melodies that sounded familiar, even on first hearing. At a time when the genre was beginning to lean toward polished crossover appeal, he leaned in the opposite direction, toward roots. For those who remember the early 1990s, his arrival felt like recognition rather than novelty. Here was a voice that sounded like it belonged to the soil from which it rose. The lyrics spoke plainly about work, love, regret, and gratitude, themes that do not expire. When his first major singles climbed the charts, they did so without abandoning their simplicity. Success, in his case, did not erase origin. It amplified it. It is worth noting how gently he wore that success. Even as accolades accumulated, he maintained a demeanor that suggested gratitude more than triumph. On stage, there was no rush to dazzle. The songs carried themselves. Audiences sensed that they were not being performed at, but invited in. That distinction is subtle yet profound. Over time, the boy from Georgia did not disappear into celebrity. Instead, he seemed to bring his beginnings with him, allowing them to anchor each new chapter. The steadiness first glimpsed in small-town life became the compass of a national career. In that continuity, many found reassurance. Fame had not altered the man behind the music. There comes a point in a long career when the measure of success is no longer counted in numbers, but in presence. Long after the initial surge of acclaim, after the bright momentum of early recognition has settled into something steadier, an artist reveals who he truly is. In the case of Alan Jackson, maturity has not dimmed his voice, it has deepened it. In recent years, his public appearances have carried a particular weight, not of burden, but of meaning. When he stands before an audience now, there is an awareness in the room, a collective understanding that time has passed, and that each performance is part of a shared history. The songs are familiar, yet they seem to hold new layers. Lyrics once sung with youthful conviction now resonate with lived experience. A line about enduring love, or about watching children grow, carries the imprint of decades. He has spoken candidly about the physical challenges that accompany aging, including his diagnosis with Charcot-Marie tooth disease, a neurological condition that affects balance and mobility. There is dignity in that openness. Rather than retreating into silence, he has chosen transparency, allowing listeners to see not only the performer, but the man. That decision reflects the same honesty that has always shaped his music. For many in the audience, particularly those who have walked their own paths through health concerns, shifting seasons of life, and the quiet recalibrations of aging, his continued presence offers something more than entertainment. It offers recognition. He stands there not as an untouchable figure, but as someone navigating time with grace. The guitar may rest differently in his hands now. His movements may be more deliberate, yet the voice, warm and unmistakable, remains. There's a tenderness in watching an artist grow older without surrendering his identity. Some attempt to outpace the years, chasing youthful reinvention. He has done the opposite. He has allowed the years to inform him. The result is not a reinvention, but a refinement. The tone of his performances suggests reflection, gratitude, and a clear-eyed acceptance of where he stands. In honoring him at this stage, we are not celebrating resilience in the dramatic sense. We are acknowledging steadiness, the kind that carries a person forward even when circumstances shift. His music continues, not as a relic of another era, but as a living conversation with those who have aged alongside it. There is a quiet exchange that happens between generations, often without ceremony. A melody plays in one household decades ago, and years later it surfaces again, carried by younger voices who were not present at its first release. In that gentle passing forward, music proves its durability. The songs of Alan Jackson have entered that exchange with remarkable ease. Grandparents who once tuned the radio to hear his newest single now find those same songs appearing on playlists, curated by grandchildren. The steel guitar that once floated through kitchen speakers now streams through modern devices, yet its emotional register remains unchanged. This is not nostalgia preserved in amber, it is relevance sustained across time. His work has avoided becoming an artifact because it was never tied to novelty. It was tied to human experience. Consider how often his lyrics center on enduring themes, commitment that matures rather than fades, faith that steadies rather than shouts, memory that softens rather than wounds. These are not subjects confined to one decade. They are threads that connect parents to children, and children to their own unfolding stories. When a younger listener hears Remember When, the song does not require historical context. It requires only a heart that understands growth and change. His influence can be traced not only through fans, but through artists who followed. Many contemporary country singers cite him as a compass pointing back to tradition. Even as production styles evolve, his catalogue stands as a reminder that sincerity outlasts ornament. By holding firm to classic instrumentation and straightforward storytelling, he preserved a lineage within the genre, ensuring that its roots remain visible. Yet perhaps the most profound aspect of his intergenerational presence lies in family itself. His long marriage to Denise, his visible devotion to his daughters, and his willingness to write from within those relationships have modeled stability in a public sphere that often lacks it. Audiences have watched not only a performer, but a husband and father who allowed private commitments to inform public art. That alignment has lent credibility to his words. For those who have witnessed many cultural cycles, there is comfort in seeing something endure without distortion. His music does not demand reinterpretation to remain meaningful. It speaks plainly, and in that plainness, it finds permanence. As new listeners continue to discover his songs, they are not uncovering relics. They are encountering a living body of work that continues to accompany daily life. In recognizing him today, we are acknowledging more than a career. We are honoring a presence that bridges decades without strain, offering steadiness to all who listen.